Hey everyone, it's Desiree. So, welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day. So, yes, decided to do this one as a third. Hopefully this won't be as long, but details what it's all about for me. So, what I want to do is I want to take, this is another freebie that Tracie created, and I'm going to call this the deed, the title to the property that this couple had purchased. Now, I'm also going to use a piece of the ephemera that somewhat goes with this. I've just got to find it. So I've done most of the fussy cutting, and let me tell you what, this was no small task. And I've grouped them in bags. Yeah, this was, I needed to do this so that I could keep things in order. Let's see, I want that one. And I want this one. Okay. So, yeah. So, that's what I did. Now, these are just the ephemeras. Because, again, for the kit that you can purchase, there's two sections. There's ephemera, and I reuse those bags. There's ephemera, and then there's bases. And then I think there was a third one that had pages. So that was the best way that I knew to break all this down. Now, I printed the freebie, so it's this and this, down onto coffee dyed paper. Again, just to have that crunch, that old feel. Definitely looks like it's aged. I did print it double side because this is one, this is another one, because you got writing down here. Crinkled it, swooshed over it with some ink just to get those wrinkles to come up, and then I went around the edge. So that's how I did this. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to put a bead of glue along the top of this, just so these two pieces do not shift, because they are going to be tucked in a makeshift document holder that we're going to create. So, you know, when I saw this and saying, oh, okay, it's a deed. Oh, that's it. I immediately thought of one of those legal documents. They're usually blue, where the papers are inside and it's like a trifold, you know, and that's handed, and you watch the people fold it down. So that's what I saw, and that's what we're going to create. I'm using one of the same file folders. The only difference here is that this is 8 inches wide by the length after we cut off the 2 metal strips like we did in the previous video. And then we take, again, this side here at the natural fold of the file folder, and we cut that down to 5 1/4. So this is cut down to 5 1/4. This is kept its natural length. And then we score at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2, so that we have this piece that comes out like that. Okay. Now, we're going to set this aside because our papers are going to go up into this, and we're going to do it the same way that we did it with the I went blank. the case file. All right, I'm going to be using 2 brads. I want to create, you know, that metal strip again going across here. And then what I want to do is, this is actually going to be my cover. I'm going to put this on the front, and then this is actually going to get adhered back in here. You could also adhere it onto your deed document, but this is a flatter surface, so we're going to do that. But first, what I want to do is create some wax seals. So I have a wax seal here of a large rose. Couldn't find a creepy. It had to be creepy, so I was very particular. Halloween one. I'm still looking, but I think the rose for this will be great. A while back, I had purchased these wax beads. So we are going to do some wax seals. So I use tea lights that are they're just like 3/8 of an inch high. I make sure my wick is always trimmed down. I'm going to put that there. You don't need to keep the lighter in. And I want to make a couple of them. I am going to grab my tile. So you can pour a wax seal either on a silicone mat or a tile. When you pour it onto a tile, they're a little thicker, and these tiles are great for the more 3D effect that you're looking for. When you go onto a silicone, they can get thinner. Reason being, silicone's going to hold the heat. When the wax hits the tile, you want to move quickly to get your wax seal into it. So that's, you know, this is cooling it down a little quicker. This keeps the heat there just a few seconds longer, if that makes sense. All right, so these are the beads that I had found. They are an awesome red, you know, deep burgundy-like. Y'all know where I'm going with that. All right, so I'm going to get, you know, that wick is just a little too high. I can tell because my flame is really big. So I'm going to trim that. If you have a high flame, what will happen is this will turn black. And this will get really, really hot. You want to melt the wax, not cook it. Just saying. Because we are not going to eat it. So I'm going to trim this down, and I just let the bits in there. Now we're going to light this again. Without burning myself. And you can see that's not as high. And then I'm going to put my cap on. And I'm going to get my spoon in place. And for this, we're going to play. I'm not sure how many I need to put in. I'm going to try 3 for right now. And I'm going to grab my pokey tool because that is what I'll stir that with. I'm not going to do any mixes. I want these to be that pure red that we love. And you can see I'm going to do a few of them just so that I have them and I can put them throughout, because I do want to put one on the cover. I'm going to put one on the inside where the other seals that she's created are at. And then I may put another one somewhere else. So this is going to be like, you know, that stamp of approval, but it's a rose. So, you know, I'm good with that. Right? Right. I do not know what brand these are. I just know that they came in the most adorable little jar, and they were literally titled, and if this offends somebody, I apologize, blood red. So that's what drew me into them for Halloween. I'm still on the hunt for an awesome skull. And believe it or not, a spider. You know, I'm not really too much into it, but okay. I do want this to have a Halloween theme. While they are melting, I am going to get these inked up and distressed up. Now, what I did was I did tear these and have some jagged cuts to them. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add the vintage photo along the sides, and then we are going to accent along the edges with the scorched timber. Again, it's staying with the brown, but just adding that hint. Now, I'm going to fold this in half. Hopefully straight. And I am going to do the inside as well. And I am going to go all over. So remember, wax seals are fun. There's really a lot you can do with them. Let's see. I like to come in with my pokey tool and stir it around to make sure there's no clump, which there's not. I clean it off on my silicone. And I'm going to have my seal ready. I'm going to pour this down onto my tile. I just like to wipe the side. And I'm going to place my seal down into this. And I just let it fall into it. Whatever it's going to do, it's going to do. I'm going to try to pop these bubbles. But if you can't pop the bubbles, you just have to hit them with a lighter and they will pop on their own. So I'm just going to let that sit there. This I'm going to focus on the big divots. So I'm inking. And then the same thing with this. So it's almost like, you know, this very aged document, almost looking like it was burned just a little bit. All right, so that's our inking. Let's see what we've got. Gently pull it to the side. I'm going to grab my lighter real quick while it's still on the tile. And I'm going to see if I can get those bubbles to pop. And they can. And what's cool is you get those two little divots in there from the bubbles. So that's kind of cool. We can pry this up. And we have our first one done. So let's do another one. I'm going to get this back on the heat. And I do think 3 is enough. So we are going to stick with that. I am going to grab so here I was playing around with the file folder, crumbling it up with, using water, crumbling it, pulling it back out, watering it, crumbling it back in again to get this rough look. I did also try, put that conditioner, pure conditioner on it to make it soft, leather-like. I wasn't liking it too much. But I want to do the same thing that I did before in the case file to use this as a band and make it look like a leather band. So I am going to cut this. How wide is this piece? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch wide. So we've got some tears in it, and it's got some nice, it's got some good character to it. Now I'm going to pull in this piece here, and I want to see how long. Okay, so that's almost the same width. So I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to tear it. And that's, yeah, that's how wide I want that. I do want to ink around this as well. And I'm going to use the Scorched. And I will more than likely do this inking as well once the paper is in this piece that we're creating. But I do just want to make sure that this top part is done. And then just this top part along the side. I think I get more ink on myself. And then I can do down here a little later because I want to check my wax. Still got a chunk in there. Again, definitely don't want perfection with the inking. I'm getting more on my hand than anything else. All right, let's check our wax. There we go. And we are going to do the same thing. Now, I want to see if I can get a strange shape pour. And again, I just let it fall into the piece and let it do what it's doing. Have a couple bubbles, but I do like the edge of that. This is like almost, perfect circle. So I'll probably put this one in my stash. It's too perfect. Gonna let that sit, and let's see if we can get this done. And that obnoxious noise you're hearing are my scissors that are in the way. And then for these creases that I'm going to have the tri-fold, I want to make sure that that's worn there. So I'm ignoring the original fold. Okay, so that's all googlied. All right, let's see what we got. Yes, I like that one so much better. And again, I've got that bubble, so we're going to pop it. Again, it's just a lighter. And there we go. And if you go in quick, it doesn't get as hollow. So it just flattened out. So I like that one. And we are going to make a few more. Again, sticking with the 3. All right, now I want to test, because I do want this to have a brown look. But again, really wasn't looking to reinvent the wheel. Oh, like that. Okay. So I'm going to take this. And I need a scratch piece of paper. And I'm going to heavily ink this. But carefully at the same time, because I don't want it to rip. It's already ripped. You can see that right there, and I'm okay with that. I want to keep that there. I want to keep that integrity, but I don't want it to rip anymore. So by just saturating this, and that's what you're really doing, you're saturating this piece with the ink and making it look aged. That's what we're going for. Okay, so that if I bring this in and put this on top, you can see it kind of sort of looks like a piece of leather. Now this will dry back because there's just a lot of ink sitting on that, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I am going to grab my glue and get this down into place, and I just want to put the glue in the center. And I'm going to hold that there for a little bit, just until it adheres. I am going to use the larger of the brads again. And I do want to get it affixed in here. You know what? I don't think I am going to do that. I think I am going to attach it to my page. Yeah. Again, mixing up just to make sure that there's no lumps. And there's just a few. So I'm going to let that continue to heat. And what's great on the silicone mat, these just peel right up. So just have to take your nail and cleans right off. It's really awesome. Silicone mats are just awesome. Now, this collection that I have here, when it comes to the wax seals. It's by Spellbinders. It's called their Sealed Collection. And they did a really cool job. So again, I'm going to get this crazy wonky shape and then fill in. Because again, that's the tile. The tile is catching it. And then I'm just going to drop my seal down in. So that cooling of the tile is stopping the movement. And that's why I'm able to get those different types of edges that I'm looking for, just to give it a little bit of a difference. While that is setting, I am going to get this piece down. Again, just holding it. And then I'm going to put a bead of glue along the top of this just to hold it in place. Because again, we're going to come in with the brads. Somewhat centered, fold it over. All right, so now we have that. Now, let's check this out. Oh, I love that one. That one's pretty cool too. And let's just do one more. I almost put them right into the fire. All right, we'll wait for that. Okay, now I want to get my brads. And I'm going to use the larger ones for these. And we're going to get a foam piece, and we are going to puncture through. I'm going to use this one right about here. So this is a lot of layers that we're going through. And we're just going to eyeball it over here. And I always like to press, there we go. I do like to turn them so that the prongs are somewhat side to side. I'm going to separate those out. And you do, even though these are brads, yes, they're metal, but you do want to still, you know, if it's snug, you want to take your time pushing them down in there, or else the prongs will get all bent up. Ask me how I know. And then that just causes issues. And I like the fact that they sit outside like that. So far, this is our deed document. And again, it will fold up like that, which I think is pretty cool. And we'll figure out some type of closure for that, you know, just to like tie it together. And let's see. So you can have a lot of fun, you know, with your documents. I'm keeping them somewhat the same you know, the same look. This just has look like a leather looking topper. And I'm just putting some stuff away. Okay, now I did decide I do want to take this and put this here, but I'm going to make it a pocket. You know, again, I always like to have these little hidden gems. So we're going to create a pocket on this one. I'm just going to put that up there. So somebody be able to put a secret message in that section if they want. Let's check our wax seal. And again, I'm going to do that, you know, crazy pour. Let the tile stop it. And I'm just going to drop her right down in there. I do want to take one of these. And I do want to have her coming off of the corner. And what I'm going to use for that are some wax seal stickers. So it's just a round sticker. I'm going to put it to the back there. And then I peel this off, praying that it sticks. These are very sticky. It's not sticking. So I'll get my nail in there to get that to stick down. I'll add a little bit of glue. And then I'm just going to add that there. Hold that down just a little bit, just to make sure that it stays. Because the other one I want to put here. And let's see which one I want. Do I want that one, or this one's a little more crazy? I think this one's good. I think this one's going to go on the outside. All right, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to add one of these stickers. So these stickers may not look much, but they are extremely sticky. And they can be a challenge. As you can see, we're just having all kinds of fun with them. And I'm going to put that one right there. All right, so we have some wax seals. So now when we fold this up, now we have this. So this is this technically is the front. Okay. Now, what I want to do first, though, is I want to clean this up. So I'm going to gently blow out the candle so that wax does not go everywhere. And I didn't want to do that yet. So I'm going to relight that because I do want to clean my spoon. And to clean your spoon when it comes to wax seals is you put that in there and you grab some paper towels Just let it heat up a little bit, and you literally just wipe out your spoon. Yes, you could leave it in there, but if you're looking to have a specific color, now you've got to do that anyway to clean it. So I do always like to clean my spoons, and you can see that is perfectly clean. Now we're going to blow that out very carefully, push that off to the side, and I'm going to protect it by the wax seal cover so that it doesn't get knocked. And I want to get these out of my way as well. Okay. So now that when we have this folded up, this is going to be our front. So I'm glad I put those lines there, because I would like this to sit there. And I actually want it to sit open. So I want this to be, you know, a full decorative piece. So we are going to get this glued down. I'm not going to create a pocket. And I'm good that I'm not going directly to the edges. I do want to go over the folds. Again, old document. We need to make sure that it is an old document. And again, these pieces that I'm doing here, there will be more pieces added, but that's as we continue through. Like, I know I want to put something here possibly, but now I just need to figure out, okay, what's going to be my closure? Because, you know, I want it to have that grunge look. So I am going to look in. This is like my catch-all. I mean, here's a piece of black. I think that's actually perfect. I think that is what I want. Because I think if I go with something like this, I've got to ink it up. But it is tattered, so... The tattered won my heart. So let's see how this will look. I'm going to open it up. Now, I could use a spray and just spray it, but honestly, that will take forever and a day, and I don't want to take that long. So I think I'm just going to dirty it up. Let's make a mess. I'll crumple that into a ball, and then I'll just use my heat tool to dry. When I come back, I'm going to come back with Vintage Photo Spray. Okay, so we are going to get messy. I'm actually going to think ahead and put gloves on because that's just rare. I usually don't do that. All right, we're going to move that. Here's vintage photo. We're just going to go right down. And we're going to add some water. Oh yeah, lovely. Yep. So I just used a little bit of water. I used a little bit of Distress Stain. Always wipe away on your nozzles. It helps. Doesn't solve it, but it does help. And I'm going to pick that up using my pokey tool. Wipe just some of that up. And we are going to heat set. Okay. Oh, this is dry. And it crinkled itself up, even though I was keeping it flat. And that's okay because we're going to do that anyway. All right. So now I will come in with this. This was just the perfect length. Thank goodness. And we will tie this off to the side here. I need it a little bit more even. There we go. And there we go. And I can tuck that underneath there. So that is our deed. So I found these looking like safety pins. These are not true safety pins. They won't open, but I can slide this onto this bow, and I want to do that. Or you can make it a charm that's coming off the side of the book, which I think is just really super duper cool. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to feed it through. Our tie, but just remember, I mean, they're awesome, and I will admit, when I purchased them, I really thought that they were safety pins, and I was pretty upset when I realized that, yeah, they don't open. But that doesn't mean that we can't have some fun with them. These would make great charms. They're great for Halloween. And I can have that sitting right at the bow. and just holding that bow in there. But it is, you know, tied up there. So we got that. These we can just distress. I'll distress those over time. Love the strings. Love the extra strings. And there you go. So that is our deed, or what I turned it into, a deed. Again, some things may be added along here, but I think that is really cute. Not quite sure where this is going to sit in the book. So let me bring the book back. Or the album per se. So here's our album. I know it's amazing. I have not sewn in my signatures yet. And again, this is going to be a hidden signature system. I do know that this is my first one because remember we did our court, the courting for our couple here with their love letters, the envelopes, trips that they took, their wedding photo, and then we have these interactive pieces for each of them. And then this is going to start day one, and I'll be showing just a few of those. All right, so I know this is our first journal. And everything's just going to be shooting out of this. This is not going to be the typical journal that I do where everything's in except for laces and tassels. Papers are going to come out. Files are going to be sticking out all over. So this is going to be our first. This is our second. So these are going to be the two outliers. Our case file is going to sit in between them. At least this is what I'm envisioning right now. So let me take the clips off. So this is how they're going to sit. I need to determine how wide my hidden spine is going to be. I know the actual spine of this book is 2.5. So definitely I'll probably be taking it down to 2 3/8. So this will sit in the center of that, and these will go on either side. That part I will show on how I do the hidden spine and get that in. So that's how that is going to sit. So where the deed is going to go, I'm not quite sure. It may sit in one of these pockets as long as it doesn't snag at the lace, but it is a tight fit. So that's what that is going to, and you can just see that these papers are already starting to jot out, which is something that I just really, really like. I just like the look of it. It's kind of those, I was inspired for those by Nick the Booksmith. She does Franken pages, and see, I don't want this to sit in the front because of the bow and the way that I have that. So let me close this back up. I don't want the pages to get out of sync. And what I can do is if I can, okay, yeah, all right, so that works. It's just a really, really tight fit. Which again, I'm fine, but you can see just that she's already starting to alligator when it comes to this. But again, I don't mind the alligator. I haven't chosen what the closure is going to be yet. I have not figured that out yet. Don't know what the cover is going to look like yet. I do know that there's going to be a label. A black label or a bronze label that's going to sit here that will say, that will have the creep on June. So that's how I'm going to identify it, or I may put it in the back here. Put the medallion in the back here and call this something else. So I'll have two of them. So that is where we're at. And again, that was just from the freebies that Tracie has created to go along with this whole series that she did. So I encourage you to check it out. Go to her website. You can become a member there. Again, it's free to become a member. No pay. I think I'm actually going to have this clipped. To be honest, I think I'm going to clip this. Yeah. So make sure you do that. She's always got freebies. She's always got things available for her peeps. There we go. So you could still put something back in that pocket. I just don't want to stretch the lace out. All right, so that is where we're at. And the next video that you'll probably see, it's going to be a really long one, and I'm probably going to do it as a live. So stay tuned for that. I do my lives on Saturdays, and I'm just going to do a bunch of different days. So I won't be showing you all 30 days. I'll be showing you the majority of it. And then I will come back once this is done and show a full flip through of the album. All right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We created our deed. We created our love notes, and we created our case file. More will be added to them. Hope you're enjoying this. It's a different way to set this up and to showcase the wonderful products that Tracie creates. So again, all of her information will be linked down below. I encourage you to check it out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, ring the bell, you know, all the doo-doos that we've got to do so that we can stay connected. Love to have you here, but most of all, enjoy the art that you create. Have fun, get inky, get messy. Now, if you're not one that likes to get inky or messy, then creating clean and simple projects are beautiful as well. Just make sure you do you, but make sure you also enjoy the process and know that you are creating art. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You are creating art. And most of all, always remember, be creative in every single thing you do every day. And until the next video, take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you then. See ya.